Welcome, everyone, to episode 24 of the Pinnacle Combat Sports Podcast. I'm Jim, and as always, I'm here with my boy Dan. Dan, how's the week so far?
It's been good, Buckaroosk, but it's about to get better at the end.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Especially at the end here.
We got
nice little nightcap.
A big set of fights tomorrow night, man. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, very much.
Let's start out with it was a big announcement today that I like to always do the big announcements at first because it gets us more pumped up for what's coming tomorrow night. But dude, when I heard this and I sent it to you right away, I was like, this guy's crazy. All right? Like, it's insane to see what this dude has done in the last couple of years. But the big announcement is, if you haven't heard yet, UFC 307, which is going to be October 5th, and it's going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah, has a new main event. Well, not a new main event, a main event, which is Alex Pereira is going to put up his light heavyweight championship against Khalil Roundtree.
Oh, baby.
What's your, just right off the bat, I don't know, what are your immediate thoughts?
Striker's delight.
Right?
It really is. Because that's the thing about Khalil Roundtree. You can say that he's experienced. Okay, you're correct. You could say anything else you want to say about that. But the thing about he's very measured. So he might be someone that's difficult to deal with. Because he might not give you the same opportunities as all these other guys like Yuri and Jamal Hill who are more aggressive. He might not give you those opportunities the same way. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how it works. Like, he's very much of a dark horse.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a big dude, too.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, the striking that goes, I just can't wait to see that one. That's very interesting one. And I'm a big Pereira fan, so it's like, I'm not even saying that he's going to lose at all. I don't even know if I can root against him. I'm just such a fan of him these days, just because of the star he's become and the way he's done it. He's done it the right way, and he's, I'm pretty sure he said 7 words since he came to UFC.
One being Chama.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, he doesn't need to say much, man. Like, I'm kidding, of course. Like, he's talked plenty, but he's not a trash talk. He's not someone who's outwardly going to do that. And he doesn't seem like he needs any of it to even get himself into it. It's just business. He's just a professional at what he does, you know? It's kind of like Adesanya. Adesanya does that. I think he just does that shit to be a showman. But I don't think he needs to do that to pump himself. Like, he's ready. He's motivated for his own reasons. So I don't think most of these guys, especially at the high level, they don't really need to wait on you to motivate them. They got plenty of fire already. So, but no, man, I'm looking forward to that one. Plus, what's that, October 5th? Beginning of October?
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, that's great.
Also, I didn't mention this one, and I don't know if you saw this, but they also just announced another fight on that same exact card. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson against Joaquin Buckley.
Oh, boy. Okay.
That's going to be awesome.
I like that card. That card's coming along there.
Well, I have it up. Yeah, you looking at it right now?
I am, yeah. You got Stephen Thompson, Joaquin Buckley, Roman Dolidze, Kevin Holland, Jose Aldo, Mario Bautista, Aljamain Sterling, Matsar Evloev. Don't know if I pronounced that right, but I've watched him fight a lot. He's 18-0. I need to get his name down. Jesus Christ, Dan. Ketlin Vieira.
I know we're on a podcast, but we're not linguists. It's very difficult for us, being stupid Americans.
Some of these names are tough. Also, we're not, not super smart, but I just got to hear it. I just got to hear it a couple times, and I'm like, all right, I got it.
Yeah. That's like Dolidze. I screwed up Dolidze, like, I don't know how many times. I've just figured out how to say Dolidze. It's been
and then
how
you
many
hear
months?
it. Yeah, of course. But then you hear it, and you're like, oh, that's easy. All right, cool, got it.
Yeah.
But for me, a lot of them is just which way are we doing the accents? Because sometimes I feel like it varies sometimes on certain names. I'm like, okay, so you're Brazilian, but you say it that way versus okay. It doesn't seem like it's the same. I don't know if it's something I just don't know about it, like a dialect or whatever. But that is funny about the lead say. That's funny. I think it's Evloev. But that's a tough fight for Aljo. Jesus,
I know,
I don't
right?
think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna win that one. To be honest, but
Dude, he's been on a rough skid lately.
it's just it's tough fights, man. And you know, move up a weight into a tougher division. I think. I mean, I'm not saying that 135's easy by any stretch. I just think 145 is crazy. I think 145 is two for me, number two.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I agree.
I'll always say lightweight. Lightweight's always like I just look at that division. I'm like, look at that top 10, man. Um, but now you're really looking at the same thing with featherweight. Plus these new guys coming in featherweight, like Diego Lopes, big fan of him. Like there's some man, just a new talent. What a life, Jim. But it's Ketlin Vieira, Ketlin Vieira and Kayla Harrison. I love that fight.
That's gonna be great.
Uh,
Yeah.
yep. And you got two title fights. Obviously, the one you mentioned is the main event now, Pereira and Roundtree Jr. But you also have the co-main, Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena.
And
So
that's gonna set up for whoever wins the Kayla Harrison. I think that's what they're aiming for. Kayla Harrison and I think a lot of people think Juliana Pena is gonna win, and they've been talking trash for the last couple months and ever since Kayla
sure,
came into the UFC. So that's a interesting dynamic right there. Just I love when they do that. When they put like they have like the number one contender spot fight on the same card as the belt that they're gonna fight for. Because I
makes
think,
sense.
and it makes sense for them too, because they're like, okay, I gotta show this guy's here, the champ's here. I'm gonna show them what I got and that I deserve this shot. Once I beat this person. You know what I mean? I think it's like it gives them it's a big incentive to like overperform. You know?
Oh, for sure. Plus, they see each other a few times, so it's like adds attention.
I can talk shit at the
Like you know,
press conference.
there'll be times, yeah, there'll be times, where they'll be like, you're gonna get past this person first or whatever. But they'll probably both be throwing that at each other, which is true. I feel like especially Kayla Harrison. I'm not taking anything away from Pennington, but like I do believe Juliana Pena is better everywhere, and if she just shows up and does what she needs to do, she'll get the win.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
but as far as the only reason why I'd say that with Ketlin Vieira, she has like I really like the way she's got very good power for that weight class. So she poses that threat, but she's not a small fight. Nova Uniao, she trains at, which is awesome. I love when I see those like old standby gyms.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, that's funny. I'm talking up Vieira. She lost to Pennington, so what do I know? But it's one of those things, Jim. It's just I do think that if the best Kayla Harrison shows up, makes no mistakes, she wins. The best Juliana Pena shows up, makes no mistakes, she wins. So it really does set up. That's an interesting fight, dude. So I kind of hope that happens that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's what UFC wants. But their plans have been spoiled before, man. Again, nothing against these other ladies that are fighting. I mean, they're both obviously really great fighters. You got Raquel Pennington, obviously the champion right now. Ketlin Vieira, 14-3, Brazilian, amazing fighter. Like, I mean, anything can happen. And in Utah, man, Utah's Salt Lake has got this energy about it, man. You don't even know what's going to happen. There's been
I think it's Mormons, dude. I think it's the Mormons.
this Mormon energy there, dude. Who
Yeah.
knows what's going on? They might
Who,
come out with another husband after this, or who
that
knows?
could have been what Yuri was talking about, dude. Like we just don't know. Like, who knows?
And you have Chama, you have Poatan as the
Channeling
dude.
it. Yeah.
He's going to channel some of that energy.
And just trauma. That's what you got to do. When in doubt, you trauma, dude.
But we'll have plenty of time to talk about this card. Awesome card. If you
For sure.
haven't seen it yet, take a look. There's a lot of great fights on there. And I was just before we started talking, I was looking at the card and I'm trying to think, okay, like which ones would I bet on and which ones wouldn't I bet on? And there's only like 3 fights I would bet on. The other ones I'm like 50-50. And that's how you know it's a good card. When you're like, I don't know what's going to happen here. So, yeah, I'm looking
Was it
forward to that.
Pena, Harrison? Who else, Jim? And
Pereira.
who else? and Pereira.
And then
Those are
the
good bets.
other one, I'm leaning towards Joaquin Buckley.
I would be too.
I'd probably bet on that. Kevin Holland, Dolidze, I'm not betting on that. I don't.
Kevin
I'm.
Holland is, I'm telling you, he's been in there with
He's been surprising lately too.
so much talent, and
Yeah,
he just has that confidence. He's been there, done that. So he's that's what I think. I think he kind of did that to get that rub real quick. So then from there, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll fight Chimaev. Who cares?
yeah.
But
And also, wasn't Dolidze light heavyweight?
yes,
Is
yeah, he
he?
moved down for what was the last?
Did he
Was he the
fight
one? Yeah,
Anthony
Anthony Smith.
Smith?
That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, recently.
So he must have moved. It looks like this is at middleweight, 185. So he's moving down, I
This is his
guess.
new home. I think it's his new. I think he
Oh,
liked it. Like, I just don't. I know he's not. He's a big guy, but I don't think he. Let's see. So 76. He's not someone who has like any crazy physical advantages as far as reach goes. So I feel like when he was at light heavyweight, maybe the guys were just like just a little too big. I mean, he's still giving up 5-inch reach advantage to Holland.
wow. Maybe he's
So
just trying to dial in his. I don't know. It's always weird because you usually see people move up because they try to get the most advantage from their weight and their size, and
mhm.
then they realize that they deplete themselves too much and they have to move up. Um, but like, what would be the advantage of moving down?
I'm
Unless
thinking
like
maybe he's a
speed.
grappler.
I
He's a
don't know.
grappler, and there's a lot of strikers in middleweight. Maybe trying to think of what other. He's got to maybe look at that. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't.
know any other reason than that.
If you're a natural size 205er though, um, I think going down to middleweight is. I think middleweight's a more dangerous division. Well, besides obviously the champ, obviously Alex Pereira, but I don't know. I think middleweight's a more dangerous. There's more killers in middleweight, right? In my opinion.
Dude, I think Robert Whitaker beats most 205ers.
Yeah, right. I know.
I
Yeah,
really do. And
middleweight.
that's how much I think Robert Whitaker is such a great fighter. He just,
Oh, Dolidze was the one who was boasting about how he was ranked in two different divisions, right? After that win over Alex Smith.
yes, yeah.
Okay. So, but middleweight, dude, look at this. So he's 10. So ahead of him, Jack Hermanson, Paulo Costa, Brandon Allen, Marvin Vittori, Jared Cannonier, Imavov, Whitaker, Adesanya, Strickland, and obviously Duplessis. Those are
hmm
all killers, dude.
Yeah, it's a crazy division.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, good luck to him. I'll be
Hey, more
watching the
power to
fight.
you.
Yeah, I'll be watching the fight for sure.
Hey,
Well,
we'll see
let's.
how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, we have plenty of time to talk about this card in a couple months.
Oh yeah. hmm
Let's get on to. Oh, well, we watched the Contender Series this week. It was the first episode of the new Dana White Contender Series. What did you think about that? I mean, like I said, we talked a little bit about it on the episode before, and I mentioned that I hadn't watched many episodes, so I
How about you
definitely.
start, Jim? What
Huh?
did you think of it? It's like one of your first times watching it. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was
I know you
awesome.
didn't watch all of them, but
Yeah, I think it's great. I think you explained it really well in the last episode that it's really all right. Couple things. The way that they like set up each fighter with like a little backstory, like you said, is perfect to bring the perfect way to bring guys in, especially if you think these guys are, well, it's in the name, contenders, right? Contender series.
mm,
If you really think, and Dana White really thinks that these guys are contenders for their weight class, it's the perfect way to bring them into the UFC because you get a little backstory, just enough to get you hyped about it. They always overperform because they got to impress the boss for a contract,
mhm.
and then they're thrown into UFC, like you said, I think pretty quickly after. Um, It's perfect. I think it's great. So now they're technically they just got into the UFC, and we're going to see them in their first fight rather soon, and we'll already know who they are. We already have a pretty
For sure.
good grasp on where they come from and what they're about, and I think that's the best way to do it. I loved it. I
Oh,
thought it was awesome.
100%. And the first two winners of that fight card are someone I'm gonna definitely want to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Who was that first guy? I have it right here. I liked him a
I don't
lot.
know. Oh my God, dude. He's a flyweight and he has that kind of power with that check hook like that.
Yeah.
That's because
Oh, how
I
the
mean
hell do
you
you say
heard
his name? Lene Kavanaugh? Was it Lene?
I don't remember
I'm pretty sure
honestly,
he's an
but
he's a
is
Irish
he from
guy.
Vietnam?
No, his mother was from China. Is from China, but
Oh,
his dad
China.
was
Okay,
Irish.
I thought his mom was from Vietnam and his dad was Irish, something like that.
Oh, maybe it's Vietnam. I'm not sure. It's somewhere in
Maybe it
Asia.
is.
Yeah.
It is China. You're right. China, and then definitely Irish too. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Kavanaugh is definitely Irish for sure.
that'd be funny if people didn't know that. They'd be like, "What is he talking about?" Just looking at a picture of this dude. Jim's like, "I'm pretty sure he's Irish."
Right? Yeah.
No,
Um,
dude, he's. But it was funny because when they announced the guy he was fighting, they were like, "Oh, this is a training partner of Sean O'Malley," and you're like,
yeah.
"Okay, all right, cool, cool." And then they announced it like, "This other guy's a 5-time kickboxing champ." You're like, "Oh shit!" So I
They
started to
definitely
watch. I'm like,
hyped him
"Dude,
up. He was the favorite to win. They hyped him up, and then
for
he
sure."
got flatlined in round
Yep.
one,
So,
2.5
hey,
minutes in,
hey, that's how it goes. But
and he was
no, he
down
looked
for a
great.
while too. He was on the ground for a while. And he was undefeated, so that was probably the first time he ever got knocked out like that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, I bet. Yeah, oh yeah, I bet. Um, but hey, I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. That dude, he showed up and he fought. That but just you could quickly see there was just a difference on the feet with those two. So looking forward to seeing him at flyweight. And then the the second fight was Jose Delgado. Um,
Yeah.
where did he Benson Henderson was it?
Yep. Yep. He was in his
There was
corner.
his,
Yep.
okay. So when I saw that, I was like, ah, shit. So
He looked so good too. Like he he looked like he's been in the UFC for a while. And
I think it's just who he's around, right?
yeah, we talk about this like every week. Like these young guys are coming in. And it's like they're way ahead of where you think they should be. You know what I mean? Like for real though, he was composed. He was relaxed. He was quick. He was accurate. He was I don't know. This guy's good, and the guy he fought is actually a really good fighter too.
Because yeah, exactly. I was just about to say it. He was dangerous the whole
Yeah,
fight. Like the way he's throwing like clubbing shots, very like a la like Chris Lieben. Like they were just very much clubbing shots, and you could tell that they had power behind them because it got his attention.
for sure. Yeah.
But he fought so smart. It was that knee that was like beautiful. Wasn't it a knee that he
Oh,
landed on?
yeah, yeah,
He landed a great knee. But yeah, no, that was a great fight too. So those two there in particular, I was watching. And I was like, okay, those dudes, can't wait to see them in UFC. Um, and Bruno Lopez, he had previously lost in Contender Series,
Oh,
so it's
yep.
good for him to get one back. And he lost by stoppage. Now he wins by stoppage, and now he's in UFC. So it's cool. It's cool
I
that Dana
I
gave him a
wasn't
shot.
I wasn't crazy impressed by him, but I'm glad he came back and you fall and you get back up. I like the
For sure.
story, and Dana White was like, "I'm gonna give you a shot. Let's see what you can do."
You
So
know why too, Jim? It's 205 too. It's still shallow. You're like, why not? What I mean, I'd be looking for 205ers to sign at any given time, honestly, because it's still pretty shallow.
yeah,
It's got its heavy hitters that kind of like seem like they might just fight each other 3 or 4 times each, and then there's a few of them. But other than that, the division's kind of there for the taking since John Jones has left. I mean, you just got your top players at the top, and that's about it.
yeah,
But
for sure.
so why not? Why not sign him? And then the other one, I believe Mansour Abdul Malik, he got a contract as well. And the dude he fought was really game, really tough. You should. Well, I know that when you said you didn't get to catch, you should check that one out.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one.
Because the dude that won, he threw some nasty elbows to finish. They were so I was just watching him like he's a light heavyweight. I think he's light heavyweight. No, he's a
Oh
middleweight.
no,
He's
yeah,
a middleweight
middleweight.
that
Yep.
you can. He's a middleweight that they could slowly build through the rankings there. Like don't give him anything big right away. He's 6-0. Just slowly, you know, you give him the slow run in UFC that you just don't know what you can have there. Or maybe his talent won't allow it because he looks like something else, man.
Also, I was just thinking about this. The Contender Series is a great platform for building up hype around your fight night cards. Like we were talking about a couple episodes ago, how I don't know. It's just like if you have these guys who are, trying to work their way up to the top 15 or whatever, and your hardcore fans that watch the Contender Series, like they recognize a name. It's always good to recognize a name. You're like, oh, I like that guy. I know him. I saw him on the Contender Series. Like, I'm gonna watch the fight night. The rest of it's but I really like that guy. I want to check him out. I want to see how he does. I think it's a really great platform for that too.
Oh, for sure. No, it's like I was telling you, I think it's kind of the new way. They should kind of pivot away from the Ultimate Fighter and just kind of stick to this. Because I think there's so much talent out there that this is the best route.
Yeah,
Just have
for
the best
sure.
talent fight the best talent, and I even like sometimes when a guy he might win and they like him, but it wasn't super convincing, and they're like, "I like you, I want to hold on to you, but I'll give you another fight in the Contender Series." So it's like then you see him come back, he looks even better, and he gets a contract. So it's like I like the way they do that too. Treat it like a minor league system,
Yeah.
which I don't know why they haven't done that in the first place. If I was Dana White, I'd go heavy on that.
What, like a minor league?
Something, something like an amateur, or as soon as a professional, have like some type of I don't know what you'd even call it, but I've always thought that would be something that would be valuable to them. Like why wouldn't you want to mimic a farm system? Because you just don't know what's going to come out of that. You just don't. Like imagine if like a guy like Peyton Talbot just slipped from your fingers. That dude, I'm telling you, that dude is good. Him and I'm I'm not saying he's ready for it now, but him and O'Malley could be insane, insane,
Yeah. Yeah.
an insane fight.
Well, he's got to break that
'Cause,
top 15. Well, did he? Who did he fight last again? He's
he's
not
tough.
top 15, I don't think yet. Let me check the
I don't think
rankings.
so. Yeah, I'm definitely jumping it, um, but I mean that's the type of guys that you do that to.
No,
We
yeah,
we saw Cain Velasquez fight a few times, and we were already like, all right, so when that dude fights champions or starts fighting like the guys, like I know you right away was like he's gonna beat them all, but anyone watching was like, okay, I saw this guy John Jones, he's gonna be up there. This guy Cain Velasquez, Anderson Silva, like the names go on and on.
yeah,
And I'm not just saying it to add to him, but he has something going on where the talent's all there and it's early, and he hasn't even really evolved yet because he's so early on. And on top of that, he has a weird coldness to the way he goes about things.
yeah. I was just thinking of other guys that are kind of in his position. Um, well, I shouldn't say in his position. They're probably a little bit ahead, but I was, immediately I think of like Patty Pimblett and Ian Gary and guys like this. They're probably a little bit
Diego
more
Lopes,
ahead. Yeah, Diego Lopez. Um, yeah, like he hasn't said much, which I think works for him. Peyton Talbot, like
yes,
he just goes in, takes care of business, smiles, and then walks out with his team. I think that's awesome. And he's like a
yeah,
skateboarder or something. He just like hangs out and skateboards and listens
just like a
to
serial killer would, just like Dexter.
yeah, right. Yeah, and there's a lot of guys, man. Like that's why, like Patty, the way he beat King Green
Very
last month,
impressive, dude.
dude. I was
That was the
like,
one. That was the fight for me.
that put him over the edge for me too, man. The way he did it, and it was smooth, and he seemed confident, and I don't know, man. These guys, it's exciting, dude. But
He has a
anyways,
different he has a different like I shouldn't even say understanding because what do I know? But like he seemed like his the growth of his striking, just the way he understands it, it's night and day from when he first got in UFC. Talking about Patty,
yeah,
just
yeah,
he seems so comfortable,
you can
and I was like,
see
oh shit,
that he
yeah,
recognizes things in every aspect of the game now.
like the
Where,
distance, yeah,
yeah,
because the ground game was always there, dude. 'Cause I remember watching the
hmm
Cage Warriors. He's been doing that forever. That dude's been a beast on the ground for a long time, and he's legit. Because I know that you could just tell that dude's strong too, and
yeah,
he's got a hell of a squeeze. So, um, but now his strike is really coming along, so he could be super dangerous at that weight, especially against these guys. Just taking advantages of those small moments when someone might get a little just a little low in the gas tank, and then you just have the right time to jump on something. Especially when you're someone that's such a good at it with submissions as he is. It's just one of those things, man. You just need that burst.
yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, there's a couple guys and they're just starting to figure shit out, and I love it. Those mid card guys that they have big opportunities ahead of them, and I can't wait to see it. Um, why don't we get into the card that we're gonna have live tomorrow pay per view? What do you think?
Oh Jesus,
Well, that's why we're here. That's why we're talking.
do it.
Oh, first, did you see the custom shorts for Duplessis and Adesanya?
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, they look pretty
I like
sick.
I like the style of how they're doing most of them. Most
Yeah,
of them, most of them always look cool. I'm like, oh, that looks cool, no matter what. Like even before I even know what it is, I'm like, you want? I was like, no, it just looks cool. It just looks cool.
yeah, it's definitely better than the just the black and gold championship trim, whatever. Oh, they just released the custom shorts for the Sphere. Did you see those?
What were they? I'm sorry, I didn't. I heard Sphere. I didn't catch the first part.
O'Malley and Marab and Shevchenko and what's her name are gonna have custom shorts for the Sphere. They just released those too.
Oh, cool. I didn't see those. No, I didn't see. I don't think I saw those ones.
I think I posted O'Malley's on the story on our Instagram. So go check that. It's got like a Mexican, like an Aztec logo on the side, and I think his are
Okay,
black and red. Marab's are red board shorts with like a white Mexican logo on it. It's pretty cool.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that they're doing this now. I think it's fun, and they do a great job. Like Duplessis
it's better
has
than the
like
Reebok shit.
I know, right? It's so boring.
Look,
Um,
yeah, look like you're playing career mode and you couldn't edit anything. You're like, I can't even. So I guess gotta wear that exact short. Okay,
oh, white or
this is
black? Okay.
dumb as hell. Yeah. Okay, cool. Any other options?
Yeah. But yeah, I like how Duplessis has like the African animals on it. He was explaining in the embedded. It's got like the elephant and lion and stuff like that from Africa, and then obviously the South African flag colors and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But let's
Mm,
get into this card, man. I know we talked about it last week, but let's start right with the main event. I know you've been watching everything. Did you watch the weigh-ins today, by any chance?
I didn't. I didn't catch the weigh-ins yet, but what I was gonna ask you was, did you see Adesanya kind of going at Duplessis about the whole? Um, no, I know they were doing something. I caught like highlights of it, so I don't even know what exactly it was, but some type of New Zealand um tradition
Oh,
where they
like
were all
taking off
doing
his
it.
shoes or something?
Yeah, he was getting mad, but he's like, "You just mean mugging me the whole time," and he's going off on him. I was like, "That shit was pretty funny."
Yeah, and he like teared up about his mom and dad and all that. Did you see that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Like sometimes like the emotion's good.
Yeah,
It's like it just depends on the place it's coming from. Like you just don't really know. But he
yeah,
looks like he's in great shape. Um, I think the best Adesanya, the focus Adesanya that shows up, he beats pretty much anybody. And the only one that I'm kind of up in the air still on is every time him and Pereira fight. I don't know who wins that.
yeah,
Every time it's crazy. Um, but if Adesanya shows up to the best of his ability, because it is interesting, right? So the reason why this fight's so interesting is because if Adesanya shows up, he can just paint a masterpiece, and then people won't even really know Duplessis and the skill he possesses. But what's scary about him is the way he puts pressure on people, his
Yep.
blitzes and his forward pressure, and his constant forward pressure.
Yep.
And I don't think that Adesanya likes. I don't think that's something he's necessarily well with. I think he likes very much kind of being able to dictate, which is like he kind of like the perfect example would be like the way he did that to Polo Costa. No one's done that to him since. He made Polo Costa freeze at anything he did,
Yeah.
any little movement he made, he had him freezing. I just don't think you can get that kind of respect from Duplessis. He's going to walk. He's going to plod forward once he's comfortable. I know there'll probably be a feel-out process. But if the right Adesanya shows up, maybe we don't even see that because he might never even get going. Because if he can get that jab going and he can really like dictate everything, I don't know if there's someone that can touch him. If he's like on point and dictating, I just don't like when he's circling out against the fence and cutting it close, and
That happens a lot with him too.
it happens a lot with him. Yeah, and I don't like that. You see that a lot, and it's like these guys are too big to be swinging your head like that. Because
Yeah.
all it takes is a looping left or right hook as you're looping up like that, and it's like that's why every time I see that I'm waiting for that, and so and Duplessis throws a lot of straight shots, which also makes you nervous because if you're kind of going back against that cage like that, and you don't have that backward momentum defensively, you have to go left or right, and he catches you straight with something, and you just don't have the ability to get out of the way. I don't know. It's all like just it never really necessarily equates. Sometimes it works, but usually there's nothing. But I'll always watch like the last few fights of each guy, and you watch the way they enter, like the way their entries are, the way they do this, the way they do that, like X, Y, whatever, name it, and like you see the way they'll do it, and then you see the way like the other side defends it, and you see the other way they do it, and it's like I just see how they may collide, and that's how I see it. I could see that cage being an issue. I don't like the way Adesanya kind of dips out in and out of that. It's not the same. It's not the same thing as like a ring, like in kickboxing. We have the give of the ring to kind of bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
That fence is different.
Yeah,
It,
and you
it
have the
traps you in a lot of
ropes.
ways.
And you have the ropes where you can kind of like almost matrix, whereas the cage you don't. You
Yeah,
can't matrix out of the way of something. You just have to be.
different.
You have to
Yeah,
deal with distance better. And obviously, Adesanya has been doing this for a long, long time. So, I mean, like you said, if he comes in the best Adesanya that we've seen in the past, you know, that might happen once or twice. But he's not going to be in the wrong position many times. We'll just say that.
sure, sure.
But then again, like you said, Dreykus just pushes forward and he's not scared, like he usually does. He puts it all out there. I don't know if you got that guy, coming at you full steam ahead. Well, where do you go? Like you have to figure something out.
It's true, but it's also like I think the most dangerous areas for like a guy like Duplessis would be in that center. In that center area, like just right where Whitaker got finished, like, I could see Adesanya stopping him in that kind of way.
Absolutely.
If
Yeah.
you see Duplessis blitzing, and then he just catches him, which is a couple shots, Duplessis thinks he's gonna land one, and Adesanya has three lined up for him, because that's kind of what I think it's going to be. I think Adesanya is going to be quicker.
Yeah, he's going to win on counters for sure.
So, yeah, no, it's a
But
very interesting fight.
but Adesanya is also pretty good countering from his back, from his back against the cage too. He's not too bad at that
He's
either.
great. No, he's great at it. That's how we
Yeah.
knocked out Pereira in that when they fought. It's not that. It's more like I don't like the way he loops with defensive. I just don't think it's the same type of. I don't know. I don't like it. I'd rather instead of being there and like looping out, just get out of there.
Yeah.
Just circle the way the hell out and get center,
You
and
know,
then reset. Don't even bother about that.
You know what's
Like
weird? I was just thinking too about Adesanya's fighting style. Like, you don't, and I don't know how this would play out in terms of like size, because I think Duplessis is a bigger dude. I don't know. You think like
he's
how much?
thicker for sure.
So what I was gonna say is like
Adesanya is longer,
I'm
so it's like
surprised he doesn't use the clinch more often.
talking who Duplessis.
No, Adesanya.
Yeah,
Like
the
as a real like offensive strategy. Like like Anderson used to do. Like knees and elbows from the clinch.
I wonder how comfortable he is with his defense. Like if how comfortable he wants to be defending takedowns for too long. Because
Yeah.
that's something that can drain you too. So that's something that Dricus could really lean on. I really do think the first round is going to be very crucial to see how the fight goes. And I know it's very cliche to say that, but it's more. I think you're very well seeing it all depending on the first round because one guy could really set the table for either like a striking clinic. I feel like Adesanya could do, or even if Dricus just lands more strikes in the first round, mixes it up with takedown, takes him down a couple times, he might pop up, but he keeps taking him down, and he's just making him work, and he can do that for 2 or 3 rounds straight like that. Then you're looking at a whole different fourth and fifth round.
Yeah.
As opposed to if maybe there's not many takedowns, a lot of it's kind of like bad shots from they were kind of half-hearted, so they're not real takedowns. So no one really takes each other down, but they're standing on the feet the majority of the time. I would think that favors Adesanya. I
Yeah, and
would.
I bouncing off what you said earlier, I think it's really dependent, like a lot of fights are, dependent on who dictates the octagon control. So
Mhm.
if Adesanya can own the center of the ring, like that's half the battle for him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas if Dreykus can put Adesanya's back against the cage, that's a victory for him. So like that dichotomy there should play itself out in the first or second round. Where that dictates where the fight's going to be and who's going to have the advantage. And I think that's probably the most interesting part of this fight. And that's usually what happens in most fights. Who can dictate where the fight's going to take place? That's half the battle. You know.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
So
in MMA, they're a combined 45-5, so neither guy's lost a lot. So it's like there's not much weaknesses in either one of these guys. So it's going to come down to who has the better game plan, mixed with who has better execution, mixed with just who shows up, just who shows up that night. Because a lot of it just depends on that with these big pick'em fights. Because
yeah,
what this is essentially a pick'em fight. It's a title fight.
for sure.
That's why you love it too.
And while we're
I don't.
here,
Man.
who are you picking? Who do you
I
think
want
does it?
Adesanya to win. I got to go Adesanya. I just want him to win.
Yeah, it's
Just
hard
a
to bet against him.
more of a fan, just more of a fan of him. So I have a hard time rooting against him. I just think he's an awesome dude.
And that would
Um,
make him a three-time middleweight champ.
that's all. But it also like that's what makes me the reason why I do like having certain favorites is because I can really try to pick apart why they could lose. And I see a lot of reasons, a lot of ways why he could lose to Duplessis tomorrow night. So that's what I like about being fans of certain fighters because I'm constantly looking at people that can beat him. I'm like, ah, shit,
Yeah,
that dude could definitely.
yeah,
And
for
Duplessis
sure.
is one of them. Tough matchup, man. It's a very tough matchup.
Yeah, it's tough. I haven't made my pick yet. I don't know. I'm so back and forth on this one, man. And I'm not
I
trying
gotta
to
go,
be
my boy.
difficult, but
No, I just gotta go. No, this is definitely a back and forth fight because earlier in the week I was just like, I just have a feeling Duplessis is gonna win
yeah, and I think
by
I
like
said
a
that on the last episode. I was leaning towards Duplessis.
third round stoppage, something where it's just like, you know, he's kind of kept Adesanya's back foot the whole fight and then ends up stopping him late in the fight. But um, I got to go Adesanya. I can see Adesanya with a second round TKO. or I could see him just kind of like just keeping Duplessis off him and beating him up for 5.
Yeah. Also one other thing, and I think I mentioned this last week. The other thing, him getting emotional at the press conference too, which I was going to bring up earlier, is that if anybody's got more to lose, it's Adesanya
His
on this
legacy
fight.
fight, big
This
time.
he has to win this fight. If he loses this fight, I don't know. It's just that'd be a really tough loss for him. A really tough loss.
Because you can't help but feel like he was the one in a lot of ways who made it personal.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you made this personal, and that's fine. But you made this personal for whatever reason, if it's genuine, if it's the whatever it is. But whatever the reason being, it seems like it's more on your end. And on top of it, you're the one who's really truly fighting for a legacy because, like you said, you be a third, 3-time middleweight champ.
Yeah.
Just for just what you've already done in the game. Like he said, he was 100% right when he said it. But he was like, I didn't need the belt to be great. I was great before the belt because it was true. Like when he was coming up in the UFC, every fight you're like, Jesus, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like,
And
so
he's already a Hall of Famer, no
he
matter what
is.
you say. So
It's already etched. So
yeah.
um, it's when I say that about his legacy, it's more like this takes his legacy to another level, just another level.
For
If
sure.
he can get it done tonight. Plus, it opens up a lot, and you can see if they're open to it. If if he wins this belt tomorrow night, I know it's looking ahead a lot, but if he wins this belt and Pereira keeps his belt in October, you just never know. You just never know if they could run it again. Those guys seem like they're always forever ready to run it again.
Yeah.
So
And
you never know.
no one would obviously say no to that fight. I just think they have a very clear path that they want Pereira to go on, and so I think they would steer away from that rematch if they could. I guess it depends. It depends on what happens. Depends on the
I say
circumstances.
go for it. I say go for it, and we really push for an Aspinall John Jones because that's what the world really wants to see.
Yeah.
Like, um, probably my second choice would be Aspinall Pereira, but I don't want to see Pereira and John Jones because I just know what John Jones will probably do.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
It'd probably just take him down and strangle
and I know a
him.
lot of people are well, not really bitching, but like Aspinall's basically talking about how Stipe is like Biden. He's like, get him out of here. He's too old. No one wants Stipe and John Jones. But I'm looking forward to that fight, man. I've been talking
I'm
about
looking
it
forward to it.
since I heard about it, and I was like, you know what, Stipe. I know John Jones is John Jones, okay, and we hear it from Dana White every goddamn week. But uh, I think Stipe brings a lot of problems for John Jones. I don't think he's as big of a problem as Aspinall is, but I think Stipe is a pretty decent fight for John Jones. And if John Jones makes an example of him, then that will solidify a lot of doubters.
For
But there'll
sure.
still be some people that are like, okay, well, now fight Aspinall, you know? And I agree with that. I think if you want to prove that you're the best, then you have to beat the guy that's been finishing people in 19 seconds. You know, like, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Stipe fight, even though people have been talking shit about two old guys that are washed up or whatever. But I think it's gonna be a good
See,
fight.
that's the thing. I don't agree because especially at a division like heavyweight, um, it's I don't I think you're gonna see Stipe come back and look pretty damn good. I don't. It, what's the tough fight about? So with this one, if you're Stipe, if you're looking at this fight and you're Stipe, you're like, okay, this is a heavyweight that truly he's dangerous everywhere. Yes, yeah, we get it. He's the GOAT. We get it,
Nothing
but
to
he's
lose.
not
He has nothing to lose.
for
Everything to
sure
gain
that.
and nothing to lose.
But he's also someone who doesn't have like true one punch knockout power. So if you're fighting a guy like Stipe, that's a tough. If you can't I mean,
Well,
that's
who
perfect.
doesn't?
I think
Stipe
that
or John
John
Jones?
Jones.
Okay, yeah.
John Jones is not someone who's known. If you land a head kick, that's one thing, but he's not someone who's going to,
Yeah.
with boxing, be a one punch knockout guy. He's never been that.
And he doesn't
He's never been
even
that his whole career,
John Jones doesn't even try to knock people out because his
which is
game
probably
plan.
why he doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet he could, but
I
that
bet you he takes.
his game
I
plan's
think he's
more.
smart, Jim. Yeah,
Yeah, he's too smart. He's like, I'm not going to waste my energy. It's a
I'll
five.
take 20% off of everything, and I'll hurt you with everything, but I'll
Yeah,
take 20% off, and just, I totally believe that,
yeah,
uh, but that's how he's programmed the fight.
yeah,
So I just don't think. I just think this fight could be a lot better than people think because Stipe is not necessarily easy to take down. He's not as necessarily easy to beat up because you saw him even in the first Francis fight. He can take damage, man.
for sure.
Like there's a lot of shots in that fight, in that first fight that he fought, which you were watching, it was amazing, man.
Yeah,
So it kind of makes more sense when you watch it back the first, second time. Because you're like, how did he beat this guy? And then you're like, okay, so he's just like, no, Stipe is. We're literally talking about him a handful of years ago, maybe being the pound for pound best heavyweight fighter ever. So
yeah.
he's right there any given night. He's only early 40s. He's always in good shape. He's been lifting a lot, they said. So, he's going to come in stronger than normal.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for it, but let's get
It's
back
cool,
to
man.
tomorrow's card. We're getting a little off track. I know we do that,
Yes. Sorry.
but so
That's fine.
you got Adesanya, dude, and that's why we love this sport is because
You gotta take Drickus, you son of a bitch, aren't you?
I might. I don't know, dude.
I'm wearing my Adesanya's for tomorrow then. Just be a saucy son of a gun.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna pick. I don't know. We'll find out in the morning. You can check on my pick if you follow us on Instagram at Pinnacle_combat. So
What a goddamn cliffhanger, dude.
all right,
Unreal.
so we got the co-main event. Perth's own Steve Urseg against Kai Kara France. This is a
Love this
great
fight.
matchup, dude. I've been a big fan of Kai for a while, and Steve Urseg in his last fight against Pantoja looked amazing. So I'm really looking forward to this fight.
Yep. I couldn't set it better myself. I feel the same way about both guys because I like Kai Kara Francis, just his stand up in general. I like the way he approaches fights. So I always like watching him fight, but man, Urseg, he really impressed me against Pantoja. So I really do think he might be second best in the division, if I'm honest. So we'll see. And it might even be third because you got Brandon Moreno just hanging there. That dude, he's right there. So, and I've always thought highly of that dude. So that would be another guy that's right in the mix. But
Yeah,
what do you think
one
about
of the
that
only
fight?
guys that Kai lost to is
Oh, is
Brandon
that right?
Moreno and Roy Val.
Yeah, Roy Vaught too. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm I don't know, man. I really like Steve Urseg's style. I don't know
I'm leaning
who's going to
him.
win, but I'm leaning towards him.
Yep, I'm leaning
Especially
him.
the hometown boy.
Oh man, he's a talented fighter, man. I just like the way he throws his shots. There's nothing wasted. It's all economical, and it's all just like just technique and torque, and it's all just the way I just think it's the way it should be. A lot of times he throws strikes. He's not overextending anything. If it's there, it's there. If not, then the next one will be there. He doesn't he doesn't waste anything.
And also, just thinking back on that Pantoja fight, I really believed if that fight went another couple rounds, that Urseg would have finished him. Because didn't he have like a really good fifth round?
Yeah, I think Usyk didn't do enough. Like I think he should now. Like
Yeah,
it's one of those things where you just don't really know where you're at. He's probably trying to measure it all out, and then maybe he realized he's gonna watch it back and be like, oh, I had more to give. I just didn't know
yeah,
because you haven't been there yet. So
but
it's all a
yeah.
learning experience.
Well, that's another point. Being I don't know what he was ranked before. Let's say he was 10. Right now he's 7, but let's say he was like, top 15, right?
Hmm.
It was his first ever 5-round fight for a title against one of the best in the world, and he went all 5 rounds, didn't gas, looked great. He looked calm, poised, controlled. Like, that's a victory in itself.
Truly, yeah. No, it's true that I was very impressed. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you see from these two tonight, tomorrow night. 'Cause that's that's truly a title eliminator in a lot of ways. Because you figure, especially if Urseg gets that win right back, he's got to be looking at it like, all right, who, I
I'd
think I've.
probably, if I'm Steve Urseg and I win tomorrow night, I'm looking for one more before another title shot. I'm looking for like a
Oh,
Brandon
okay.
Moreno or something like that. That'd be good. One more test and then go for that belt again.
That's probably smarter. I'd probably if I win tomorrow night, I'd probably just do let me get this right back. I just don't know Pantoja has nothing lined up, right? What
Not
does
that I know
flyweight
of.
look like, Jim? What does flyweight look like?
Flyweight rankings.
Yeah,
Let's see what we
top
got
five,
here.
say.
Top 5, we got number 5, Tatsuro Taira, number 5.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Kai
yeah.
Kara France, number 4. Amir Albazi, number 3. Brandon Moreno's number 2, and Brandon Royval's number 1. And then obviously Pantoja. We also have
Hmm.
Alex Perez at 6. Mateus Nicolau at 8. Manel Cape or Cape at 9. Tim Elliott at 10. Yeah.
Who'd you match up next?
With Steve Urseg if he wins?
Yep.
I would go Brandon Moreno or
Oh
Royval.
yeah, you did mention that is a good fight.
Maybe Royval would be good too. Brandon
I don't
Moreno's.
I don't hate either one of those. Yeah, no, it's
I mean, both of them are amazing fighters, but I think the easier matchup would be Royval.
I agree. Yeah,
And then he's
I
number
really think
one, so you set it up for it's a title eliminator fight, and there you
Moreno
go.
sharp, man.
But it also depends on how you win. So we'll see how they perform tomorrow, and we're I don't want to I don't want to be overconfident. It's Urseg. I'm not. This is not one of the fights I would bet on. I don't.
No, no, I wouldn't either.
Kai Kara France
Kai,
is awesome.
he's too good of a striker, and there's going to be too many striking sequences for you to be too confident one way or another. You know what I mean? Like Kai France, he can stop any of these guys.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
has that ability striking wise. So I would never feel I would never feel fully confident betting against either guy with the way they can stop fights, especially at that weight. It's not generally common. So when you saw like the way Pantoja can stop these fights, either way too, because he's world class on the ground, but he also has that power with his hands. It's just he's a problem. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to solve that one, but
Yeah, it's tough. But let's get on to the next
ooh,
fight. We have
real quick, Jimbo, can I throw in something real quick?
sure, yeah,
It's unrelated completely. It's just I'm watching it live, and oh, there's Flava Flav for some reason.
Flava Flav.
Um, yeah, he was there, but
Shit,
Muhammad Ali's grandson just won by stoppage. I just watched it.
really?
Yes, I think it's
Muhammad Ali's grandson.
Bellagio Ali Walsh, I believe. I have to make sure I have this name right.
Wow.
Yeah, he just smoked this fella. Um, but I'm sorry to derail the whole, but I thought that was worth mentioning.
No, of course. Yeah,
But Biagio, Biagio Ali Walsh.
and that's PFL you're watching.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like, holy shit. It just said Muhammad Ali's grandson. I was like, oh shit.
That's crazy.
So there we are. But anyways, I'm sorry. Are, are we on the next fight now, or
Yeah, next
are we
fight.
still on?
Gamrot
Very
and
good.
Hooker.
You're a hooker, dude. I really like this. I like this matchup because Gamrot's going to put a pace, but Dan Hooker's just dangerous. No matter what. in any time of the fight. Um, you figure anyone that gives that's such a crazy fight. Anyone who wants to watch a good fight, you watch Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier. That fight was crazy.
Oh yeah.
That was a slugfest, dude. Watch that fight, especially because that was back when there wasn't much of a crowd there, so you heard all the thuds. That's a different feeling when you're watching the fights. I think a lot of people don't really realize these shots. They all hurt, man. All the ones that just because they go off your shoulder, you're like he blocked it. I'm like, yeah, that's a kick though. That's a shin. Probably didn't feel great, but he blocked it, right? Yeah, he blocked it with his own body. It's that's not good.
Yeah, right. I'm just looking at Gamrot's fight.
What you
his
got?
his
His
last fights. He's got a bunch of really great victories. He's got let's go down here. He's got Holtzman. He beat Holtzman. Jeremy Stevens, Ferreira, Sarukian.
Rukian,
He
dude.
lost to Dariush.
5 rounds. A
Yeah.
5 round unanimous decision.
He
That's big.
lost to Dariush.
Yep.
He beat Fiziev, and he beat Dos Anjos. That's
Big.
a great resume coming into tomorrow's.
100%. It really is.
But Dan Hooker has fought some beasts too. So I don't know.
It'll be,
I'm leaning towards Gamrot on this one.
yeah, I think I picked Cameron by decision. I think he's just going to be able to do enough to grind him out.
He's a pretty heavy
There might be
favorite too.
there might be some scary moments, but that's the one thing about Dan Hooker. He doesn't strike me as someone who's incredibly quick or fast. So I just think Gamrot can kind of really get position on him and kind of grind him out.
All right, let's
So
move.
we'll see how that one goes. That's a very interesting fight because that's a juicy underdog right there, dude. If you took Dan Hooker by a knockout, you could see that happening.
For sure, yeah.
You know,
And,
that's a good underdog selection.
and now that he's got all his tattoos, he's a warrior.
It's completed.
He's the bad version of his old self.
You know, when they're a creative fighter and you get them all up to 100 attributes, dude, that's what looks like that's where he's at, dude. So fuck around and find out, Jim. You know?
All right, let's move on to the heavyweights. Tai Tuivasa. Probably gonna do a couple shoeys.
AKA Shu, I was about to say it.
And he's fighting Rosenstrike, which is this dude, man.
Jarzinho, dude. He's
If I saw this guy on the street, I'd be terrified. Of Rosenstrike, dude. Oh my god,
he's
that guy.
he's deceptively fast. That's what's scary about him.
Yeah.
You know the power's there. He's a big fella, but you watch him hit like he has very good speed. I think that's what you got to worry about if you're Tuivasa, especially in tight, because Rosenstrike does not need much, just like Tuivasa. But Rosenstrike does not need much to turn that hook over, just to get just enough on a shot to hurt you. So I'm kind of leaning towards Rosenstrike on this one.
Yeah, and Tuivasa has like a bad habit of just like rushing in and throwing wide hooks, like haymakers, and that's not going to beat Rosenstrike, dude. He's gonna throw a straight right down the middle, and before you know it, you're gonna be waking up in the hospital. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm heavily leaning towards Rosenstrike. I love Tai Tuivasa. He's so much fun to watch. He's always looking for the kill. But he's also, I think, on a 2 or 3 fight losing streak. Yeah, he's on a 3 fight losing streak against some big names, but
Sure.
yeah, 4 fight losing streak. Sorry. So
Yeah, I mean, you figure he's lost 3 out of 5 too, so he's not in a great spot. But then again, he did lost to Gelton Almeida, Alexander Volkov, Curtis Blades. So there's no slouches there. But
yeah,
I do lean Rosenstrike, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tuivasa um, was able to get him into a brawl and was able to land something significant. So, because that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah,
Which one of these guys lands the first significant shot? Because that's the one that's probably going to be the one
for sure.
that's
Yeah,
not it doesn't close it, but it's the, you know, pretty much curtains, especially the heavyweight.
yeah.
You see one shot that lands, you're like, that's just a matter of time. But this opening of the main card, Jim, I love this fight.
So
It's
do
one of
I.
those ones that we talk about. It's
Yeah,
one of the ones we talk about. Opening of the main card, I feel like it's an important fight, and I think that's a perfect fight.
yeah. I agree. Li Jingliang and Carlos Pratis. Again, another guy from the Contender Series, right? Pratis.
Big, big on Pratis, dude. I'm
Yeah,
big on Pratis.
me too. Fighting
Yeah,
nerds, right?
yeah, dude. They are something else, man. They're like they're like one of my new. They're probably my favorite gym now, dude.
Yeah, same.
Because Pratis is like he's definitely he's up there, but that dude, is it
Jean
Mauricio?
Silva.
Mauricio Hufi?
Oh, Hoofy
Mauricio Hufi.
and Jean
That dude.
Silva. Yeah.
I'm all on that dude's bandwagon. I want to see that dude's next fight.
Yeah, I'm surprised he
Um,
hasn't gotten anything yet. He fought a while ago.
I just I got a feeling it's going to be hard for him to get fights.
Really?
That dude.
Are people just like
Yes.
not wanting to fight him?
I don't know. I just don't know. I wonder if it's just going to take like a last minute one for him to jump in and get at. I don't know. I could be way off on it. I don't think that's a guy that a lot of people are going to want to. It's not just because of him. It's more just because there is so much to lose with that. Because there's no name recognition yet. And if you're a big name, you don't want to give up your name. But yeah, I'm very high on that dude.
He has a
I forgot.
very similar
Who do you
style.
fight
Huh?
his first fight? Who do you fight his first fight?
Hoofy?
Yeah.
Uh,
Because he's just dangerous.
he fought. Who the hell did he fight? I'll have it here in a
I'm not
second.
sure.
Um, what does it say? Where does it say his fights? Jamie Malarkey?
Oh, see, that's a tough fight too. Okay.
Is that right? Yeah, 301. So he was on the same
Okay,
card as
so
Pantoja and Urseg, and he beat
he's due for something.
dude, he beat Jamie Malarkey in the first round with a flying knee and punches.
Dude, I'm telling, like, that guy's scary. Because I know Gene Silva, he's taken some extra fights than Hoofy, and he hasn't he's fought higher caliber talent because Drew Dober. I mean, you beat Drew Dober, dude. That's insane for that small of your UFC stint, and you're
Oh
already
yeah.
beating a guy like that.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the thing about. But you see Silva getting touched up. I don't know how we haven't seen this dude get touched up yet. I know he's only fought once, but I just think there's a lot of people that's just gonna have massive problems with this guy. He's so explosive. I think he's the guy. Like I think he's the guy to watch. I really do. At lightweight.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's
he has
lightweight,
a
right?
very similar style to Conor McGregor. The way his stance and the way he comes in with punches and stuff. He's got a
But he
fun
doesn't.
style too.
But he doesn't. He holds his hands a different spot, and he doesn't get tired the same way,
Yeah, for sure.
or whatever you want to call it. If you want to
Quits.
say you're not tired, then if you don't want to say it's not tired, then it's like, then why are you slower now? Like everything's slower you're doing, so you can't tell me you're. But I just don't think you're going to see the same thing with this guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you want to get an idea of fighting nerds, definitely watch Pratis tomorrow night. I mean, he's a great fighter out of the same camp, And yeah, that's a great fight to kick off the main card as they've been doing all year, which is awesome. But Dan, do you
Against
have
the
any?
Leech, dude.
Do you have any out of the prelims? Why don't you name just a couple dark horse people to look at and keep an eye on? Do you got
All
any?
right, well, the first one that jumps out would be probably Tom Nolan, because he's a big favorite anyway. But he's just named to watch just because of the talent that's there. He's a 7-1 Australian dude. You've seen him before. We've talked about him.
Yep.
Um, he's definitely probably the first name.
Negative
As far as a
1,200
fight,
favorite.
dude, it's crazy. Yeah.
Jack
So
Jenkins, negative 800 against Herbert
he's
Burns.
he's also someone you could look while I'll talk about the next fight, but while I'm doing that, Jim, look up how many times Jack Jenkins has broken his opponent's leg. It's been like 4 or 5 times, I swear to God. But
What?
he's had multiple. But I would say as far as on the prelims, the two fights I would look forward to most would be Casey O'Neill, Luana Santos, because Luana Santos, I think she's one of the next up coming up too. But Josh Cuiabao against Ricardo Ramos, that's another one. I mean, these are very good prelim fights. But yeah, I don't know if you got that up yet, but I know he's stopped people. He's broken many legs in his career at Jack Jack. He throws a mean low leg kick.
Let's see.
You got what's his name? Jesus, Johnny Walker's brother fighting as well. But if I'm a betting man, Jim, I think he, like his brother, gets stopped by Junior Tafa. I didn't really like
No,
what
neither
I
did
saw
I.
his last fight.
Neither
I,
did
I
I.
liked what I saw at the weigh-ins, and I was like, "Oh, this guy is a beast. Look at him. He's a big guy. He's heavy." And then you saw him fight. You're like, "Okay, it's not the same guy at the weigh-ins that I saw at the fight." So yeah, don't mess around with a guy like Junior Tafa.
I'm
Uh,
surprised he got another fight, to be honest. But
this could be his. I'm surprised. I'm surprised the odds are where they're at. Like an essential pick 'em, and I think that's wild.
huh. Yeah, in terms of Jenkins,
Jake.
um, I see one here, leg kick, round two. It doesn't say broken leg though.
Shit. I got I I got to check. I got to do some. But you tell me what you see on the prelims that you like there, Jimbo.
On the well, I mean, we just mentioned the ones that I'm looking forward to: Tom Nolan, Jack Jenkins. Those are the two that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to seeing Johnny Walker's brother lose again. So, because I hated his performance, and I hated that after Johnny Walker said he had him like winning all 3 rounds. I'm like, I don't know what, I know it's your brother and you kind of have to like have his back or whatever, but there's no way he won. I don't know. It was just a really horrible performance. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to him losing again. So, but yeah, that's, are you looking up that Jack Jenkins thing? It didn't tell me broken. I mean, if you look up broken leg, it'll show you fights, but it won't tell you like how many.
See the also the thing. Um, that's also the thing too. It's like it's more like the X-rays after. It's like the
Oh,
not like broken guys' legs are in the fight. It probably should have been more. Um, but it's like it's funny. Is like I think it was one of his last fights against Don Shanis. He's like, I saw him backstage. He's on his way to the hospital to get an X-ray. They think it's broken. That's another one. Now it's 5 legs are broken when he
5?
kicks.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
So
Wow.
I think like they'll that's just what's so crazy about these guys because like they're fighting on. That was also the thing about you got to give respect where it's due too. Like Connor went into that Poirier fight with a fracture, like a micro fracture or whatever in his shin already.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of roll the dice on that. I would never do that. I honestly don't think I would do that. Like especially if I was like at that level.
Yeah.
No, I just don't think I don't think I'd risk that at that high of a level. But yeah, no, that's insane, dude. Just wait till you see this dude's leg kicks because I mean, not for nothing, Jim, but I have a feeling poor Herbert Burns' leg's gonna be there for the taking. Yeah, I don't. I hopefully he gets it out of the way, but I got a feeling it's gonna be there for a couple chopping shots. So
yeah,
he throws a crazy kick, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It's gonna be good.
But it's a very good card. So I'm looking forward to watching it throughout. And I don't know much about the a couple guys on this card, but for the most part, I know every other name. I think there's probably actually, you know what? I think there's one name I don't know, and I may as well say it. It is Stuart Nicol. I don't know him. 8-0 out of Australia.
Oh, there you go.
And he's a flyweight. Yeah, so I have not seen him yet. But I've seen his opponent. I've seen Ricky Glenn and Song Kanan. Tom Nolan and Alex Reyes. I've seen those two. Herbert Burns. Yeah, I've seen, yeah. So everyone else.
Nice.
But this card, as far as fights, especially in the prelims, I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of very good back and forth fights in the prelims. Even though there's a lot of like lopsided favorites, there's a couple of ones that are going to be tooth and nail fights.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to this so much. I can't wait. Every pay-per-view is just like it's like Christmas Day. It's amazing.
Dude, I'm telling you, yeah. It's phenomenal, man.
But yeah, let's wrap this one up. Dan, it's always good talking to you about fights. We'll have to do it again, either Sunday or Monday. I'll keep you posted on that, obviously. For everyone listening, thank you for your support. We appreciate it. If you're not already, follow us on Instagram at Pinnacle_combat, and you can find all these episodes on our YouTube page, which has the same handle at Pinnacle_combat. I try to post on my Instagram, on our Instagram, every day, at least on our stories. I don't post a lot of posts because I think that gets overwhelming. I don't know. But the stories I could just do all day, you know? But
hell yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, anything I see that comes up, Dan, I know you're really good about messaging and being like, hey, did you see this? You should put this up. And we always do that. So we have fun with it. But thank you guys for listening. And we'll do a post one after UFC 305 tomorrow night in Perth, Australia.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's going to be great. And we'll have to throw up some bets because we got some extra money from our parlay last time.
Sweet. We won a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to do our picks tomorrow morning. And yeah, but we'll be back in a couple days for our post episode. Again, thanks for listening. Thank you, Dan. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
See you.